Hey book friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the video where I talk about my yearly TBR. Now you've probably seen floating around all the 25 and 2025. Now, I'm not going to do that because that's entirely too many books. I'm going to do 15 priority books that are not series because next week I'm going to be talking about my priority series that I plan on reading in 2025. Whether that be continuation in a series like first books that I loved and I want to keep reading those, or entirely new series that I think I'm going to binge in 2025. That's all coming in next week's video. And the fact that I have become such a series reader means that when I'm trying to compile this list and not including any series books, it was hard. So I only came up with 15 for sure books I want to read. And so let's just hop into my list because it's a really good one and I'm really excited for all of these books. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back, all the things. So like I said, I am making my yearly TBR. 15 in 2025 is what I'm going to be calling it. And half of the list is anticipated books. Now I do have a bigger list of books that are going to be published in 2025, but these ones I'm for sure gonna read. These ones, hands down, I'm going to be getting copies of these first 7 books. So let's just hop in. One of the books I'm most excited for is the 3rd book in the Legendborn series by Tracy Deonn, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to reread these books before the 3rd one comes out. So these are also on my list, but I guess unofficially on my list. I want to read Legendborn and Bloodmarked again because I loved these books. I think they were part of my 2023 favorites, so it's been a year since I've had something in this series, and I'm so excited for the 3rd one, which is called Oathbound. So good. I'm so excited. Next on my anticipated reads is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. The next book in the Hunger Games series. So this past year I reread all of Hunger Games. We did a bit of a read-along in Gwen's Patreon. I'll link her down below. It was so much fun. We're so looking forward to this story, which is another prequel story, but not quite as far back as the Songbirds and Snakes. And so this story is about Haymitch, and I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. So that's another book that is on my list for the year, as well as Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Oh, I love Abby Jimenez's books, and I don't actually even know what this one's about. I just know that I really vibe with her writing style. I vibe with the way she tells a romance story. I feel like it brings out a lot of emotion for me. I feel like also her characters are really real to life. They're very relatable, and they have issues that they sometimes need to work through, and I feel like she handles all that very well. I'm always impressed with how she does that. And so I'm definitely looking forward to her latest release coming in 2025. Okay, I'm also looking forward to The Ashfire King by Chelsea, oh, I can't remember her last name. It's up here. So this is the 2nd book to The Stardust Thief, which I just recently read in maybe November, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the characters. It definitely gave me the City of Brass and the David Bad trilogy vibes, but I was totally fine with it because it was just enough different that the story was really interesting. The magic system was really interesting. Where it left off at the end, loved it. Loved it. There's so many questions I want answered, and so I'm really looking forward to this book. So that's on my list for the year, as well as Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. You guys, I just really enjoy her books. This has something to do with the space race. Not even sure. I don't know why I don't know more about these books, but I just know that I also really enjoy her writing style. I really enjoy it's contemporary, historical, but she's just really good at bringing you into a moment in time. And I love that she's tackling something kind of sciencey. Just not sure how our main character is connected to it all, but I'm gonna read it for sure. Another book I'm for sure gonna read is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. Now I have read all of his books. I'm up to date. He always publishes his latest thriller book in the summer, and I'm not gonna miss out. I'm gonna read it no matter what it's about. I feel like from what I understand it to be about, there's something to do with a train, and there's something to do with a woman who's seeking vengeance on all of these people for some reason. Don't know what's going to happen, but I have found that I really enjoy his books, some more than others, but that is totally fine. I'm really hopeful for this upcoming book. And then the last book on my anticipated reads, and that is definitely on this TBR, is Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Oh, I love the Inheritance Game series, world, all the things. I've been rereading and reading all the new books this past year and really enjoyed it, and I'm excited for the 2nd book in the Grandest Game spin-off series. I enjoyed our characters. I enjoyed kind of where the plot was going in that first book of the trilogy, and I just want to know more about Lyra and Grayson, and I want to get back into that world. And so that's coming out in the summer. So I am so excited for that book. Okay, so those are my anticipated releases that I just need to put on these kinds of lists because I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them anyway, and so this is the perfect place for the ones that I know for sure I'm going to be getting, either purchasing or getting from the library. Now I have two other groups of books on this list. I'll start with what I'm going to call my stretch books. So these are books I'm super interested in, but they're going to take a specific headspace to pick them up. The first is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, I believe. I have heard that this book is amazing, but super depressing. Like, it's just a real to life depiction of poverty and what this boy has to go through. And I believe the setting is like West Virginia or someplace in the Appalachian Mountains that is just really rural and really impoverished. And this boy and his maybe single mom and what he has to go through and some of the hard knocks in life. And I've just heard that it's just challenging to read, but really impactful. And so I am putting it on this list because I feel like that will push me to read it. I am very interested in the book. I just feel a little like I have to be in the right headspace for it. And same with this book, which I realize is part of a series and it should have been in my series video, but I just feel like this book I have heard is just so hard to read and so heavy. I mean, the title is Dark Age. So this is by Pierce Brown. This is part of the Red Rising series. This is the second book in the second series of his whole world, and it's following our same main characters of like Darrow and Mercedes. But I had to take a break after reading Iron Gold, and I knew this one was going to be kind of heavier, but I know Lightbringer is better, so I feel like I want to read this book because I love the Red Rising series, and part of me is like, well, maybe I should start over and really be in the headspace to understand this book and appreciate this book, because it's been a little while. Honestly, it's been a little while since I read the original set, and I think Iron Gold I might have read either at the beginning of last year, no, 2023 probably. So I need to get back on this because it really is a favorite series. It is. It's a favorite series. So I'm going to read this one. My last stretch book for this list is going to seem silly to some of you because it's not a hard book. It's not a depressing book. It's just a book that I'm so unsure about. And that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I don't know why I'm hesitant on this book. It's described as like so very cozy, and cozy is usually not a buzzword for me. It's like an anti-buzzword for me. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to like this book. I think I'm just hesitant, and I am again falling into the trap of assuming I'm not going to like a book. And so I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to give the books a chance, and I feel like there's such a big chance I'm gonna love it. I'm just so hesitant. It's kind of like Fourth Wing all over again, which I just really liked, and it surprised me. So this book is on my 2025 list. Now let's go to kind of my miscellaneous category, because these books I've really wanted to get to. The first is Quicksilver by, who knows, Callie something or other. I'll put it up here. I can get it on Kindle Unlimited, and I want to see what everybody is loving about this. This is a FOMO book. Just gonna say it. This is totally a FOMO book where I just want to understand. I want to understand what the hype is with this book, and so I am putting it on my list. Another book, though, that I want to read, because the second one comes out this year, is Cassandra Clare's first adult novel called Swordcatcher. Now, I really have been enjoying the Shadowhunter world. I've been reading pretty much a series a year for the past couple years, and I probably will again this year. But this one I am just really curious about. It has to do with a man who is, I think, like almost like a body double. Like, he looks like the prince, and so he has been trained as almost like his bodyguard, his sword catcher, if you will. But what happens from there, or what the main plot is, I am not sure. But I want to see if I like this, so that when the second book comes out, I can pick it up and continue the series. Potentially. Another book I know I want to read this year, because I read Love Light Farms in December, because it was a Christmassy book, right? And so I want to read In the Weeds. I would actually like to read all of the books in their seasons, so maybe this just is a stand-in for books 2, 3, and 4, so I can catch the spring, summer, and fall books, because I liked that small town vibe of that first one. I enjoyed the friends to lovers aspect of Love Light Farms a lot. I want to continue with the series, but I know none of those are going to have that same vibe as that initial couple. So I'm holding it a little looser because contemporary romance is not necessarily my go-to genre, but I think it'll be fun. And so this follows another one of the characters. I think this was her business partner and the Instagram influencer potentially. So this continues their story. And what I love about companion type romance novels is just the reappearance of those initial couples. I loved that in Abby Jimenez's books. I hope I will love that in the B.K. Borenson books as well. Totally different vibe is this. I had this on one of my TBRs this past year and I was so bummed I couldn't get to it. It just was a month I was not reading big books. And so this is The Stars Undying by Emery Robin. Now this is kind of a Cleopatra, not retelling. It's more of a science fiction book that has the Cleopatra, ancient Rome-esque vibes to it, from what I understand. Like there's a woman who's trying to protect the empire from her sister or some notion. And I just want to try it. I'm definitely exploring more sci-fi this year so it can push me to pick it up. And then I do have a nonfiction. I want to read this book for so very many reasons. There's a couple other parenting books I want to read, but this one is called The Anxious Generation: How the Great Rewriting of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Health. This is by Jonathan Haidt. I started reading this. I got it from the library. I really was enjoying it. I was like my mind was kind of blown by some of the statistics and some of the observations that were being made, but I didn't get to the chapters on like, well, what do we do about it? Because I have 4 kids and they are not in the anxious generation. They are younger, but I don't want them to grow into that. And I feel like I just need to learn some more to potentially help that. I mean, I can't change the culture. I can't change how much technology we have at our fingertips, but we can be smart. And I'm hoping this will just kind of teach me some stuff that I can parent better, if you will. Okay, so that's all of it. Those are my 15 books in 2025. These are the ones I want to focus on getting on some TBRs or just picking up because I'm really excited for all of them. I wasn't just adding books to meet 25 because I initially tried that. I was gonna make 25, but then there was a point where I was just starting to add books and I was like, no, I want these books to be ones that are really defining of what I want my year to look like. And so I'm hopeful that that's the case with these books. We will see come the end of next year how I actually do, but that's my plan. So let me know what you think of these books, if you've read them, what your thoughts on some of them are. And if you have nothing else you necessarily want to say, leave me an emoji. Leave me some flowers for in the weeds. It'll be spring soon enough. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next book video. All right, guys, take care.